Good morning, this is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of Verwood and Three-Legged Cross. This Sunday is the last Sunday of the Church's year. Much of this year is not something that we will want to remember. But as we look back in the years to come, we will all discover at least one thing that we can be thankful for and remember with a smile. The whole Kingdom season, which begins with All Saints' Day on November the 1st and ends today, has had remembrance as its theme. So often, this gives us a chance to ponder on the things of the past before we begin the new year with Advent Sunday next week. So this Sunday's readings also deal with what is to come to lead us into the season of Advent. Many of us would dearly love to know what is to come in terms of how many people we can have around the table on Christmas Day, so we know what size turkey to order. But we can only be patient, do what we can to reduce levels of infection, and wait until the new regulations are announced before we know the answer. The separations from our loved ones have certainly been the hardest burdens to bear. And at Christmas time, the thought of being separated again just increases our pining for past gatherings. When Jesus was talking to the disciples towards the end of his ministry in St. Matthew's Gospel, he tells them that on his return in glory, he will judge the nations, and people will be separated one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. We have no idea when this will happen, whereas at least we do know that within the next few weeks we will hear more about our ability to mix with each other over Christmas. However, there is a similarity between the two things in that we can influence both of them. Jesus is helping his disciples to think about their lives, so he teaches them what they need to pay attention to, so that when he comes again in glory, they can be counted as one of his sheep, rather than one of the goats who have turned away from him. Jesus says, he will say to his sheep, "When I was in need, you supplied my needs. You fed me when I was hungry. You welcomed me when I was a stranger. You clothed me. And when I was sick and in prison, you visited me." And they will reply, "When did we do that? We don't remember doing that." And Jesus the King will then say to them, "When you did those things to help and support other people, you did them to me." They had noticed people in need, and they had responded to their need without thinking of any reward. Whereas those who failed to notice people in need and failed to help them had failed to care for God's children. They had not responded to the message of Jesus, and so they would separate themselves from the sheep. This year there are many more people in need due to COVID lockdowns, which have brought about redundancies and closing businesses. But there are many things we can do to help to support people. Members of the churches in Verwood, alongside others, volunteer with the food bank, which is doing an amazing job. And St Michael's is also looking towards supporting CAP, which is Christians Against Poverty. This charity supports people who are subjected to the devastating effects of poverty, including debt. Many of Jesus' stories give us choices, and in this parable today, the parable of the sheep and the goats, the opposite of doing good is also a choice, but it's not doing bad. That isn't the opposite of doing good. The opposite of doing good is not doing good. So let us pray that we can do some good by playing our part in keeping people safe and well and fed and cared for. And let us look forward with hope to a time when there will be no more separations of loved ones, now or in eternity. God bless you.